This is the unfortunate part of the summer where we have to spend any amount of time talking about Chelsea Football Club. So, loyal listeners, I apologize for the next 25 minutes of your life. This is Red Card Radio. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you're listening from. Thanks for tuning in. Red Card Radio is a weekly look at the Premier League from three friends who support different clubs. My name is James. I support Arsenal. With me tonight, that's Brad. He supports Chelsea. Down below, that's Sean. He supports Tottenham Hotspurs. Boys, hello. How are you guys doing? How was your week?
I'm good. It's summertime. It's been a while since Chelsea has lost, so I'm happy.
That is true. Fair point, Brad. Can't lose if you're not playing.
And lose.
Not doing great, James.
Oh yeah.
I gotta hear about $100 million signings, and Chelsea hasn't lost in a while.
So. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Before we get too deep into it, hit that subscribe button, ring the sub notification bell, do all of those things that normal podcast video people ask you to do. Follow if you're on the podcast site, 5-star if your platform so allows it. Really appreciate everybody who's been tuning in recently over the last couple weeks. So if this is week number 3 for you and you're listening to Red Card Radio, thank you so much for tuning in. We really do appreciate it, and maybe share it with a friend who enjoys football like you do. But without further ado, a little context for what we're doing tonight. If you guys have been listening for the last couple of weeks, we are kind of dissecting the teams that we support at this point. So 2 weeks ago, I was talking about Arsenal. Last week, Sean talked about Tottenham. This week, we're talking about Chelsea. The reason we picked this order is because we went in league finish order. And so we will be doing that. So Brad's going to kind of break down what happened last year, have his opinions, his thoughts about last year. He will kind of think about next year and transfers and all that stuff. So yeah, that's what we're going to be looking at.
All right, James, tell us, or not James, Brad, tell us about last season.
There was a season, I think.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Some things happened.
Yeah.
And it, you know what? I used to watch Sesame Street as a kid.
Yeah.
It reminded me of Oscar's Home. Yeah, it was hot garbage last year.
I thought you were gonna bring up how you guys learned to count to 40.
We did. You're right. We did. It took us until May. To count till 40. So you know what? We survived relegation.
Because for a while you went 39, 39, 39, 39.
How many weeks? Listen, how many weeks in a row were you? If someone can drop it in the comment, drop a comment. Let me know how many weeks in a row Chelsea were at 39 points, because it was a long time.
It was. It was.
Yeah. But we did count to 4 pretty quickly, with 4 different managers on the year.
That was good. So the count helped out there.
All right, Brad, you're dodging the obvious elephant in the room. You picked Chelsea to win the Premier League last year. You guys finished, 12th, 11th, wherever the heck you guys finished?
12th, yes.
Defend your club. Defend yourself, actually, because Chelsea's kind of indefensible, but defend yourself.
Why? Chelsea's coming back. It's all good. We have a down year. It's okay. I was wrong. I'll admit it. Chelsea was garbage last year.
But why were they garbage? Why was Chelsea so bad last year?
Chaos that wasn't helpful. Owners figuring out what to do. The owner acting as director of football. A coach that didn't care anything about being director of football. Just wanted a squad to play. Terrible momentum. Players wanting out. Players not buying in or believing. Too many players bought. Not enough sold. So pretty much if it could have gone wrong, it went wrong. And most of it was kind of self-induced in a lot of ways. right?
How confident are you that Chelsea is not repeating those same mistakes? So
very confident. I'm gonna say it right now. Chelsea's winning the Premier League. It's written in the stars.
Such an idiot.
It's written in the stars.
You couldn't even wait until the end of the podcast to give us your expectations. Loyal listeners, Brad is furiously changing his notes for what he had originally chose as his expectations to now reflect what he just said.
I would say both. I will say what the realistic one is, and I will say what the Homer one is. Okay.
But you guys have made some good sales this summer. You guys are making a lot of money in sales, and we'll get to this in a second. But
yes,
you still have quite a few players that you guys purchased over the last 18 months. That are still on the books that I think even you are probably not super pleased with. You've got Cucurella. I think. I think you've been underwhelmed by Fofana at the back. He's been
hurt. I don't know. I don't know if I disagree with that. I think Fofana is going to get a lot more minutes this year, assuming no injury, right? Because he got hurt again last year. And when he came in, he was very, very strong. But I think he's going to be a heavy rotation option for Silva.
But I think you also said that you would be okay if Sterling moved on this summer. I think you said that at the end of last year. Maybe I'm misrepresenting you. I don't know. But
I would have, but we've sold some other players that we kind of need him to stick around as either starter and as rotation.
Are you confident that Sterling can be productive for Chelsea?
I don't see why not.
Okay.
Besides last year, but look. All right, so shall we? Let's keep this going.
Sorry,
we're going to the new season. Let's get back to the old season because we haven't finished that yet.
I apologize. I derailed us. So who was Chelsea's player of the year last year?
Thiago Silva, easily. I know you're going to disagree. Thiago Silva?
Why was it Kai Havertz? And explain in.
Oh, hold on. Oh, yeah, it was definitely Kai Havertz. I think that's what Todd Bowley told Arteta. Was like, you want our player of the year. He was the GOAT. He played every position for us. He led us in goals. Yes, he's worth 65 mil. Okay.
If he wins the Premier League next season, he will be.
Look, he won the Champions League. He's worth every penny of that 72 mil we paid for him. He scored the game. He scored the tournament-winning goal. So
why are you shaking your head, Sean?
Here he goes again with the
Sean,
player that happened to be on the team.
Havertz has started almost 85-90% of the games as he's come in. That's an absolutely terrible take.
Well, you know why it's not a terrible take? Because no one notices that he's on the field. He doesn't make an impact on the game in the slightest. He is worse than mid. He is whatever in between mid and awful is.
Wow.
Shake. He is shake.
And
wow.
And Arsenal just signed.
How did you know that? I didn't even know that. How did you know that?
I have life experiences, Brad.
And Arsenal just signed that. So both you two make me happy.
So wait. He makes no impact on the field.
Yes, he happened to score a goal. It was probably a tap in, wasn't it?
So
you're gonna go to a semifinal last goal where it was probably in the 60th minute, but you're calling it a winner because that was the one that would put you ahead.
It was a late time goal, and it was the only goal of the game. And then we lifted the biggest trophy in all of the world, besides the World Cup. Second biggest trophy in the world.
Where the only person in the world who wouldn't put it in would be Timo Werner.
That's cool.
Yeah, he played that game too.
Okay, Sean, I generally agree with your assessment of Kai Havertz at Chelsea. I was ridiculously underwhelmed by him. And I'm not sure that he will be good for Arsenal. So I don't necessarily disagree with you. I hope he's good for Arsenal. But I apologize. I, again, derailed us.
Yes, you did.
I'll take blame on that one.
Why don't you take us to the next one, Sean?
What's your moment of the year, Brad?
Hey, the Tottenham Hotspurs Chelsea game, the hair pull, and then the subsequent Tuchel versus Conte fight that derailed our entire season. Has to be the moment of the year.
Do you think do you think that if Chelsea had gotten a win in that game, like, do you think that your season would have been materially different? Because that's actually an interesting question. You drew that game, right? Like,
yes, we drew that game.
If you beat Tottenham, you have a little bit more momentum, and maybe Tuchel survives. And because like for a long time, Tuchel had amassed the most number of points for the team before he was sacked. Like it took Graham Potter.
Did.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. I guess that's true. So like maybe if you get 3 points there and you build some momentum, like maybe your season would have been very different last year.
I think there's a very strong argument. I don't think he then struggles in Europe that led to him being fired. I think even the owners said that was a mistake.
Sacking Tuchel?
Firing Tuchel. Yeah, and just letting Tuchel have the season. And then getting rid of him. Or, yeah.
My only comment there is to just note that if that situation, quote unquote, derailed your entire season, then your problems ran a lot deeper than that, and they happened way before that. Because if a team that is that mentally fragile, that the second game of the season derails the entire season, that problem started way before.
That's a fair point as well.
Oh, you're 100% correct. We had the worst preseason in like club history.
Yeah.
That's straight up the worst preseason in club history, and it just like compounded on compounded on compounded on compounded.
Yeah,
I'm actually really, really surprised. I'm happy because I get to go see Chelsea again, but I'm really, really surprised that we're coming back to the US again. Now they've done it differently.
Owner. It's an American money. It's an American owner.
And money.
Yeah.
And money. But
well,
they're doing it differently this year. Everything, their home base is in Philly, and then they fly to the games.
Chelsea's also coming for the EPL thing, right? Like the Premier League in America.
Yep. They have one game outside of that, Dortmund in Chicago.
Yeah.
That's the furthest we go from the East Coast. So, I'm hoping that's better. Poch is already having his impact as we get into the new season, and that these boys are running and running and running.
Well, Poch is pretty famous for that, right? Okay, so take us into the new season. Obviously, Mauricio Pochettino is the new first team coach. What are your thoughts? What are your feelings about that? Because if I'm not mistaken, 12 months ago, you would have scoffed, right? Yeah, you would have scoffed at the idea.
Cautiously optimistic. Let's see what he can do here. Let's see if he can shake the bottle gene. It's not like he lit the world on fire at PSG. Yes, he did what he was supposed to at PSG. He won Ligue 1. He won the French FA Cup. Didn't get that far into the Champions League. But I'm cautiously optimistic that he will perform very, very well for Chelsea. Especially when he gets a squad, he gets to spend money, he gets to pick the players that he wants. So we can see.
Sean, you're obviously the resident Pochettino expert here. What are you expecting?
When it was first rumored, I told him you should be ecstatic to have. He is a serial winner. He showed up at Southampton, developed a roster into a top half team with a bottom half team. They developed a bottom half team into a top half team. He goes to Tottenham. We go to the Champions League final. He didn't get a trophy while he was there, but that's something to be said for that. Given our reputation is to go to a Champions League final. He goes to PSG. He wins a bunch of cups, and then he's unceremoniously fired because he can't win the hardest cup to win. So, he's a serial winner. You should be. It would be fine to have Pochettino as a manager. I don't want him back.
Okay, hold on. Before you go, Brad, where do you, thinking about the upper echelon of managers in England right now, if you think about the Peps, the Klopps, I'll throw Arteta, Eddie Howe, Ten Hag, you think about the managers in England, where are you putting Poch on that list? How high on that list are you putting him? Are you putting him above Ten Hag? Are you putting him above Arteta, above Eddie Howe? Where does he fall?
Well, I think this is tiers, and I don't think it's. I don't think it's ridiculous to throw Arteta in there, but I do believe that there is a tier system that would go something along the lines, and this is off of my head without splitting hairs and looking at everybody. I believe it would go in one tier, Pep, Klopp, Arteta, and you drop down to the next tier, and that would be Eddie Howe, and that would be Poch, and that would be from Villa. Gosh darn it.
Oh, Emery.
Unai Emery.
Zerbi.
Thomas Frank.
De Zerbi might be in there, but
Zerbi and Thomas Frank are probably the next tier.
That might be next tier down.
Where are you putting Ange in this hypothetical tier list?
It's unknown, right? Like I can't put him on I can't personally put him on a tier list because I don't watch Scottish Premier League. I don't know what this guy's capable of or how his team plays. And
it's funny, Sean, because if you were Brad, you would have been an expert on the J League, on Japanese football.
Well, I did not know about him in the J League, in Australian League.
Fukushima, they were when they played Yokohama, it was crazy.
I'd like to be optimistic about him. A lot of reports say that everything is going well, but that's how the tiers have to go. And I feel like that next year would have Eddie Howe and Unai and Pochettino in it.
I'm not sure Arteta is able to be lumped with Klopp and Pep yet.
I don't know if that was a worse take than the Havertz thing, but it's close.
Maybe not, but he's definitely teetering there because you can see steady progression from the day he stepped in the door to a point that you challenged for a title. There has to be consideration for there. Although he hasn't realized the success yet, you can see that the team is clearly better because of him. That's something to be said for a minute. There's something to be said for a manager with that.
Definitely agree.
I don't think I disagree on anything that you said there. I think it's a not yet thing that he's in that top tier.
Well, year 2 of Klopp, would you have said a not yet thing?
Well, year 2 of Klopp is also years after year 7 at Dortmund.
Time out. Didn't Klopp make it to the Champions League final in year 2?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it was like, yeah.
This is like. Yeah, this
that's kind of what I'm saying. Coaching? It's like, all right, well, weren't we crowning Klopp at the same time, and then we can't knock Arteta for this?
No, but
in a similar situation. Well, how is it different? It's a second-year manager. Okay, all right.
Because Klopp was not a second-year manager at Liverpool. He was a 10th-year manager at Liverpool.
Yeah, you're saying that Klopp has a longer CV, so like it's easier to at his second year at Liverpool associate him with the top tier managers, the Arsene Wengers at the time, the Peps at the time. You're able to elevate him at that time. That's fair. I think that's a fair point. I think this is going to be Arteta's 4th full season as a manager, maybe third full season, 4th. Like I think he got hired in October of 2019.
Yeah, so it's been 3.5 years.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. We've got 3.5 years of looking at what they look like, and I would say it's improved.
So you're cautiously optimistic about Poch.
Yes. Yes. I think Poch will be given the right tools. I think Poch fixes what was wrong with the team last year, and I think us getting rid of players fixes the emotional part.
So what was the biggest issue with the team last year then? If Poch is going to be able to fix it,
and we ain't score goals. We did not run at all. Like we were not a hustle team.
You think it was a work ethic issue?
Yes. Nobody wanted to work.
So you think Poch is going to instill a stronger work ethic and you guys will score more goals?
I mean, we can't score less.
You might.
That's where I'm at. We can't score less.
You do have Big Rom coming back on Monday, so.
Yeah, after we pushed it back, he's supposed to come back
today.
He's supposed to come back. Yeah. As you guys are hearing this, he was supposed to report back today. Him, Oba, Ziyech, and I think Hudson-Odoi is now lumped into that find a home by Monday group, which is sad. That injury just destroyed Hudson-Odoi. Okay. Anyways, goalie. We sold Mendy. I really hope Kepa is not our starter.
How do you feel about the situation with Onana potentially ending up at United for 50 mil?
Because it gets rid of Romelu Lukaku, I'm for it.
But I mean, it could if Chelsea paid Inter 50 million, then Chelsea could.
We could just done a swap, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, like my point is like if 50 million is going to Inter and then Inter's going to use that money to get Big Rom back, then like Chelsea would at least get a good goalkeeper out of it. Well, an upgraded goalkeeper.
I think we had a number. We had a number for Onana. And when we went to Inter, it was like, yo, we'd give you like 35 with like 5 add-ons. And they said, nah, like 50, 55. I think their quoted price at first was 60, which was like double. And so Chelsea was like, okay, no.
I mean, to be fair, Chelsea did blow up the goalkeeper market when they bought Kepa. So I think it's fair.
It's because we bought him right after he had signed his new release clause and like spazzed out because Courtois was a snake. So, but yeah, I hope it's not Kepa. Shall be interesting to see what happens. There's rumors of getting Porto's goalie for about Kepa money again. But let's see. Chelsea's working on one deal right now. Really, they're picking up some like
who?
Caicedo for midfield. So I think once that's done, and I think everything else, I think the rest of the dominoes fall.
How confident are you that Caicedo gets done?
Very confident.
Okay. The reason why
I think it will take. Yes, go ahead.
The reason why I ask is Brighton's holding out for Enzo Fernandez, Declan Rice money for Caicedo. They want 100 mil for him.
Sure. What they want is Colwill. What they're getting is not Colwill. That's what they keep saying, huh?
So they want Colwell and
Cash.
60 or something like that. Colwell and 70 or something like that. That's what you're saying?
Yeah. So apparently we made an offer like at the beginning of the season, like at the beginning of the transfer window for 65 or 60 for Caicedo, and that's when Brighton responded with 40 for Colwill because that equals 100 mil. I think Colwell's worth a lot more than that, but might be all hype, but he had a hell of a UEFA U21 season, and every club in the Premier League wants him.
So why are you confident? I don't think Arsenal have been linked to him, just on that out there. But
nobody else is.
Why are you confident that you're going to get Caicedo? Because Brighton are asking for an astronomical amount of money. There have been rumors that I've read, that I've seen on the internet, talking about how Brighton and De Zerbi kind of have a gentleman's agreement with Caicedo that if a Champions League team came for him, that they would facilitate the move. But so that, like, there's rumor that there might be a release clause for a Champions League team, but since Chelsea aren't a Champions League team, that wouldn't qualify. So like Chelsea are going to have to negotiate their way out of this, and you just are confident that they're going to be able to do it.
Yes, there hasn't been any. So here's the thing, and why it probably like. From the other rumors, from how the conversations are progressing, is not like what Arsenal did with West Ham, where they said this much, and West Ham said no, and Arsenal was like, all right, this much, and then West Ham said no, right? And you guys said the number and it was good. It's a constant conversation. It's not bids. So like they're working through everything. So then when the bid comes in, it's signed off on. So it's a one bid, or I guess two, because we did the 60 mil just to see. So yes, I think Caicedo gets done.
How late into the transfer window does it get done? Like, because
I think both teams are in the US.
But I guess my point is that, like, does it happen in a week? Does it happen in 3 weeks before the start of the season? Like, because you want Caicedo to link up with the team. You want your players. One of the things that Arsenal can be very proud of the fact is they will have 3 signings completed before they fly to America, right?
Yep.
Chelsea want Caicedo. They want him in the side. Like, you got to get the deal done, right? So that he can have a preseason.
And he'd be our third.
Yeah.
For the season. So, shoot, I forgot to put him on the attack. That's on me. So, but I think it definitely does get done. I think it gets done when both clubs are in the US. So let's say
it's like in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah. End of July. If not before then, because I think there will be movement soon.
All right, bro.
I hope so, because that fills out that fills out our starting midfield.
Yeah, but you have no depth at that point. But that's
I agree.
I think you guys are gonna have another. I think you guys need like 2 midfield signings and maybe a third to like realistically like get a top 4 challenging midfield.
I would love Caicedo and then Lavia, but I think Santos. No, hold on. Lavia would be dope, but I think Santos is gonna shock a lot of people. I think we got Santos before Brighton did. I think he's very much in like the South American 20 mil, 15 mil, 10 mil player that 2 seasons on is 100 mil, or the next season is 100 mil, like Enzo. I think we have that type of player in Santos.
What? That was going to be my follow-up question. Is why don't you just tell Brighton to kick rocks and go get Lavia for 30 million?
Because Lavia is 50 million.
But still,
so like the difference.
It's still half.
Right.
He's 19.
And Caicedo's 21, and I think more fully developed. You're not putting like.
Yeah, more fully developed. Sure, I can grant you that, but it looks on the screen when I watch the games that Lavia has more upside.
I think that's because he's not linked to a Tottenham. I think that's where all of your takes come from.
We're not linked. We're not linked to either one.
Like I think that's a crazy take, but that's okay.
We signed all of our center defensive.
I don't think Lavia is a bad player, right? Like I think Caicedo is better.
Does maybe his profile overlap too heavily with Enzo's? I don't know. That's a thought. All right, so Brad, you have listed here in your attack like 6 players.
Yes, I do. I have
thinking about them, I think only 2 of them have had serious Premier League minutes. And then you got this Jackson dude who you had to add paredparentheses. Because
I knew you were going to say some ish about that.
Bro,
you're like, I don't know who that is.
Nobody knows who
I
he
didn't
is.
know who it was. I didn't know who it was. So I did a little research. He had 8 goals in his last 9 games. So look, he's on a hot streak with goals. Let's keep that going, right? We need goals. 16 starts, 12 goals.
How much did you guys pay for him?
37.
Okay, that's not terrible. I mean, you're gonna have to make you're gonna have to make these types of signings where you find the Gabriel Mangalas for 23.5 million, and in 2 years he's one of the best center backs in the league. So like you're gonna have to find those players and identify them and sign them. But like this list of attackers does not fill me with confidence per se.
Look, it does. Poch said, we don't need to spend money on a striker until I see these guys.
Of course, Poch is going to say those things, man. Like he's not going to come out in the first month on the job and be like, "Yeah, these dudes are trash. I need new ones." Come on, man. You can't.
But he wouldn't have said. I don't disagree. But I don't think he would have stopped the club from negotiating on players. Right? I think you just don't say anything if that's your thought process.
You think he's going to honestly tell a reporter what he's telling Bowley?
Yeah, there's no chance. He's been doing press after press after press engagement since he got on July 1st. Like he's obviously saying all the things that you're supposed to say when you're a new hire at a company. Like he's like, "Oh, Chelsea are the best English team in the last 15 years," which is obviously hogwash. We expect to win. Like Chelsea deserves to be fighting for the most important thing. Like he's just hitting all the points. He's like, this team is, they were bad last year, but they've got so much quality in them. Like he's just saying the things that you're supposed to say. But like I don't know. Like I'm looking at this list. You got Nkunku, Mudryk, Sterling, Madueke, Broja, Jackson. You listed Broja, bro. Like
yeah. I think it's Broja or Jackson that start the year for us up top.
That's wild. Like where is this Tammy Abraham buyback clause at? Like go exercise that.
His ACL says no.
That's true. That feels bad, but like
feels real bad.
It's just like, man, like this looks lean. Your midfield and your attack both look really lean to me, and maybe I'll be
like 70,000 defenders, but we'll I mean, I guess
maybe
we'll
I'll
see.
Be surprised. Maybe I'll be surprised.
I think if we bring one more in, cool.
But I mean, you're also not listing Ziyech, Aubameyang, Romelu Lukaku, who still technically are on the squad. I mean, I would be shocked if Ziyech isn't gone. I mean, like, I would also be shocked if Aubameyang and Rom are, but I think it kind of seems like you would just terminate Aubameyang's contract and Lukaku you would find a loan somewhere. But like, I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility that Lukaku plays for Chelsea next year because there's just no takers. And he doesn't want to go to Saudi Arabia.
I disagree. I don't think he gets a single minute for Chelsea.
But I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility.
Okay.
Sure. If Lukaku's in your first team, I think it would be criminal not to play him. When your options are, would you play Broja over Lukaku?
Yes. And you're gonna say I'm crazy, but like we played these players last year, and like the want to play,
no goals.
The culture, right? The want to play, the culture was terrible. Yes, I would rather play a young, hungry kid over Rom, who doesn't want to be there, who doesn't care at all. It's there for his paycheck, and that's it.
I'm just gonna throw it out there for Lukaku that Pochettino doesn't really mind playing with a striker that doesn't mind having his back to goal.
Romelu Lukaku doesn't want to be in Stamford Bridge. He doesn't want to be at Cobham. He's not coming back. Like, bro, if he's not sold by Monday, he's not showing up. I promise you.
Lukaku doesn't mind playing his back to goal. He just doesn't want to always have his back to goal, which is how he's being used.
I'm just saying, like, if there's not,
Harry Kane does that. Harry Kane will put his back to goal, but would prefer to move in space. That's how Lukaku wants to play.
Lukaku doesn't want to play for Chelsea. That's the problem.
I hear what you're saying, Brad. I hear what you're saying. All right.
Like, sure, does his profile match Poch? Yes. Does his feelings and emotions match Chelsea? No. Get him out the club.
All right. Expectations, Brad.
Yeah,
expectations. You earlier claimed that Chelsea are going to win the Premier League. I will give you this opportunity to walk that back.
It's written in the stars, baby. We're winning first place. That's what I'm going to put on my sheets. That's what I'm going to say. But I think the realistic expectation for the club is European football.
Okay. So you would be happy finishing 7th, or excuse me, you'd be happy finishing 10th and winning the Carabao Cup. Because isn't it like 8th or 9th that gets into the gets into Europe now? Whoever wins.
Top 5.
Well, actually, yeah, because the Champions League is expanding for next year.
And so does Europa League too.
Oh wow. Okay,
that's like the top 8 clubs that get into Europe, I think. I know top 5 get Champions League.
Let's go to the table. Will Premier League tell me? Oh, they're not going to tell me yet.
No. So I think Europe is the expectation. I would say Champions League, but I think the club won't put that expectation yet.
England are going to be putting in 10 teams to Europe.
I think it's close to that. It's like 8 or 9. I think it's 8. I think it's 8. Because it's 2 to Europa, 1 to Conference League, and then it's 5 to Champions League.
Is that that's because of coefficient?
Yes, and because Champions League is expanding, it's going to be like round robin matches until the first group stage matches don't happen until the end of January. Like it's an all season long tournament type of chaos.
Well, the old Champions League model was all season. I think
right, but it was group stage, and then you had a long break, and then it was like this is going to be like you're playing. I think 9 matches, Champions League football before group stage. It's like a table.
No, so no. England will only get 5 teams unless they win. So
England, I said.
Yeah, because they get 1 additional for coefficient. Okay.
Yeah, I said 5. I was right.
All right. I guess in theory, England could end up with 7. In theory, if like the 6th place English team wins the Champions
League. Oh, 7th place wins
7th place wins Europa, and then they get top 5 because of top 4 in coefficient. That would be wild. Probably not going to happen, but
I don't even know if they could like. I mean, I guess they probably could pull that off because there's more teams.
Yeah, that would be wild.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, England has by far the highest coefficient. It's not even close. All right.
No, it's not. Italy's second highest. John, Italy is second highest coefficient.
I'm going to do a quick fact check on that, and that is false.
Spain.
It is Spain. Correct, Sean.
Yes.
Brad, go back to Italy. All right. I think that's it. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know what you guys think about Brad's expectations, what his assessment of Chelsea last year. Let me know in the comments how long it took Chelsea to get off of 39 points. That's what I'm really curious about. So definitely leave us a comment. We really do like reading those guys. Hit us up on Twitter. That's at KSBradG. Down below that's at Whiteheart_Sean. I am at James Tiffany, and collectively we can be reached at Redcard_Radio. Check back next week because we're cooking up something special. There might be a familiar face that you guys haven't seen in a little while.
Ooh.
So we'll have to see who that's going to be. But definitely check back, and we will see you guys next time. Have a good one.